Hi everybody, this is a video to show you how to take through Design Space this new bundle of SVGs to create this lovely reusable box to enclose the small cube. They call it a cube tissue box. It's not actually a cube, it's because the sides aren't the same size, but they call it a cube box in the shops for Kleenex and other brands of tissue. You get in the SVG you get the basic box, which I don't think basic box and 3 overlays to go with it. You don't have to use it with the overlays, but one is this floral overlay. So in there you've got the box that's cut out of black and then the overlays cut in white. Then you get this lattice one again. This time I've cut the box in white and the lattice in purple. Let's go backwards, and then you can see I did one with just a basic frame because I thought it might be nice to be able to put photographs behind it if you wanted to do that, or you can take that basic frame into Design Space and you can create your own overlays by using that basic frame and then welding or combining other things to it to make your own overlays. You could put names on it or things like that, whatever you wanted to suit any occasion really. So again, you get the basic box. Oh, and the reason it's reusable is it has this base which closes with tabs that lock into some slots. So when your tissue box is empty, you can just replace it with a new tissue box. You don't need to throw away the whole beautiful box that you've made. Okay, so let's go to Design Space and see how simple it is to bring in, and it really is. There it is in my library. This is the basic box, and you can of course just cut the box from some lovely card. You don't need to have an overlay. If you cut it from some lovely 300-gram card that you've maybe put through your printer with a lovely pattern, or you've even made a print then cut. I wonder if you could make a print then cut. We'll talk about that in a second. You don't need to use an overlay. That's not something I've thought of, but I bet you could. But anyway, just for now, we will deal with what you do with the scores. So as usual, with any multi-part SVG that you bring in that's got score lines, the first job is to convert those lines that come in as cuts, but which we actually want to be scores. We can't make them come in preset as scores. I do get told off a lot about that by people who don't realise that that's the case, but we really can't. It's just a little bit of conversion you've got to do. And if you've only ever worked with Design Space, Access, Cricut Access products before, this is a new thing, and so people get a bit angry and they think that the SVG's been saved wrongly, but that's not the case. We just can't give you the scores already done. So with my SVGs, they always live in this first subgroup in the layers panel, and the name of that subgroup is always the second line down, always. So you just click on that second line down and it selects everything in the group. Go to your operations menu, click on basic cut and choose score from the drop down. And you can see that those lines have been selected. Now if I just click off it, you can see that they've been selected. While they're still selected, or if you deselect like I did, you can just select them again. We need to ungroup them because there's more than one set. You can see in that group there's a set for this piece and a set for this piece, and at the moment they're grouped. We need to ungroup them. I'm using the desktop version for PC, so for me ungroup is at the top of the layers panel. If you're using the app, it'll be down in one of the menus at the bottom. Okay, so they're ungrouped now. Second step is to select the group below in your layers panel, and that includes all the cuts, the cut pieces and any small cuts in between them. And all we need to do here is ungroup. And then you can see if you look at the top of the layers panel, everything is still in a group. SVGs come in 3 groups, the overall group, and a group for the cuts and a group for the scores. So now we need to get rid of that last group. So we just click right at the top of the layers panel, or you can use the select all button, or whoops a daisy, what did I do there? Or you can drag a box to enclose everything. However you do it, once it's selected, just ungroup a third time. I'm just going to zoom out a tiny bit there. Right, so now everything on screen is a separate piece and we can attach the scores to the pieces that they relate to. Quickest way to do that, click on canvas somewhere near a piece, drag a box to enclose just that one piece and any scores and cuts within it and attach. And do that as well for the next piece. Okay, so we'll click make it and see what happens. We can choose 12 by 12. You could choose A3 or tabloid as well if that's the size of the card that you've got, but um, you don't need to, and both pieces won't fit on one sheet of tabloid or A3, unfortunately. So just choose 12 by 12 and you'll cut them separately on the standard mat. Right, I'm not going to cut, so we'll just go back. And I'll get rid of those. So that's the basic box, and then you get 3 overlays, and they all work in the same way. I'm not sure if I need to bring them all in, but we'll see because it's super quick. So again, we have to go through this converting the cuts to scores. So again, it's that first subgroup. The name of that subgroup is the second line down in your layers panel. Click on it, go to your operations menu, choose score, and while they're still selected, ungroup them. Then click on the group below to select all the cuts and just ungroup that. And then click on the whole SVG and ungroup it a third time. And now we can attach scores to the individual pieces. So we just drag a box to enclose one piece and its scores and attach. These overlays, all of them, you can cut them separately on 12 by 12, of course, but also you can get both SVGs from one sheet of tabloid or, of course, one sheet of A3. You could, if you wanted, if you were just using scraps up, that second one will easily cut from a piece of A4 or letter as well, but this first one with the top on is too big. Right, I'm not going to cut that. I'll show you it with the others, although they all do work in exactly the same way. This is the lattice overlay, so again, second line down in your layers panel selects the group of scores, operations menu, choose score, and while they are selected, ungroup them. Second step, select all the cuts and ungroup them. Third step, select the whole SVG and ungroup it again. And then you can attach the individual sets of scores to the piece that they relate to. Click on canvas, drag a box to enclose it and attach. So I will just show you again that if we choose 12 by 12, that's what this one fits on. But for this particular one, you could choose A4 or letter. So that's just if you're using scraps up. Yeah. I mean, you'd want them both cutting out of the same thing, wouldn't you? So chances are you're going to use one sheet of tabloid or A3 or two sheets of 12 by 12. So that's the lattice overlay. And then the other one is this basic frame overlay. Now, my idea behind this one was that you could maybe bring photographs in and produce a lovely cube box like mine. Let's just go back to that one. Yeah, like this one. Say if you've been on holiday with somebody or it's their birthday or a special birthday and you want to put pictures of them as a child, anything you want really. Any pictures that somebody might just love, pictures of children to give to a grandparent perhaps. I think it's a quite nice idea that to just make a frame. I use some lovely wooden effect card for my frame as well, and these are pictures I confess that I just got off a free picture website. They're not babies in my family, unfortunately. All right, back to, so again you're going to click on that first subgroup, just click on the name of it and it selects everything in the group. Choose score and ungroup it. Select the second group with all the cuts in and just ungroup it. Third step, select everything and ungroup it. And then we can leave the oval in there, even though it's not actually part of that, it's a completely separate thing. We can still attach it and it'll just cut on the same sheet as that one. And again, you would use two sheets of 12 by 12, one sheet of tabloid or A3 or 12 by 12 and maybe a scrap of 12 by 12 for that. If you've got about half a sheet of 12 by 12, that would work. So if you were going to bring your pictures in, you could even bring them into Design Space and do a print then cut, but it might be just easier if you take your sizes. So perhaps you could, if you're trying to work out what the sizes were for your pictures, maybe you could, we'll just get rid of the padlock, maybe you could bring a shape in and think that's the size for my narrower walls, and then you could make a note of the sizes up here, that's what you'd need to make your images 9.6 wide and 11.8 tall, and then for the slightly wider wall, 10.9 wide. So that's how you could do that. I mean, you could bring it in as a print then cut. Oh, we were going to talk about print then cut, weren't we? For the actual box in case you didn't want to do an overlay. So let's just think about that for a second. Right. So we'll bring the box back in. Do the scores. Choose score from that menu. Ungroup it. Select the other group. Ungroup it. Select the whole SVG. Ungroup it. Now drag to enclose one piece and all its cuts and scores and attach it. Right, okay. Somewhere on my system, I've got a template for the maximum size for, here we are. That is, oh, it's not going to tell me. It's not going to tell me which it is. That's a shame. Yes, it will. That's A4. That's A3. So let's bring, if I can get off it, let's add that to canvas. Let's have a look. So if we send that to the back, oh, that's good to know. Yeah, both pieces will, let's have a look. Yeah, both pieces could be used for print then cut if you're using A3. So you could actually just personalize the whole box and then just print it and cut it exactly as you wanted. That's good to know actually. I might try one like that myself. So now I'm going to bring in the tabloid maximum size just to make sure that's not too narrow. Let's go back to where they were. Is it this one then? No, I think that's letter. So that's A3. That's A4. Yeah, that's letter. Where's tabloid? It's in here somewhere. A3. There it is. Yep. I give those away free um on another project. I think it's the birthday week boxes. I give these away free because they just need a little bit more organised. And look at that. Yes, it will. It will also go on tabloid if you want to do print then cut and decorate those exactly as you want to without doing any overlays. So that's good to know. Just a little bit of an extra thing. I tell you what, I'll put these templates in with this project as well, and then you've got them. Okay, so that's that. I'm not going to cut anything, so we'll leave it there. If you have any questions when you come to cut or assemble it, please don't hesitate to get in touch. I'm happy to answer any questions. Please come back to me before you get cross or leave a lousy review on Etsy, because whatever it is, it's just something tiny and we can definitely fix it. The way to get in touch is in the description below. You can contact me on Etsy or Facebook, however you want to do it. And if you've just stumbled across this video and you'd like to buy the SVG, the link to do that is also in the description below. Thanks a lot. Bye.